When you think of music legends, talk of fashion isn't usually too far away. It's an important part of music, and in a lot of cases, they go hand in hand. Hi, I'm Josh Greenway, and I'll be looking at some standout musicians who, over the years, combine both their love of fashion and music with striking results. If you look back at the different eras of music, it's not hard to tell that fashion changed with them, either that being new fashions being created or an artist creating a new style. You've got examples like the Mods, popular in the 60s with bands such as the Small Faces, and then reinvented once again in the Britpop era of the 90s. Who remembers Liam Gallagher's Fishtail Parker, eh? Music fans would see their idols on stage and want to emulate the look, and each era would have their own special stars. You only have to look to the 70s and the punk explosion with acts like the Sex Pistols to see how music and fashion affected a generation. Some musicians will actually take an interest in fashion outside of their own music. Some will like to display a sense of style that makes them stand out from the crowd. It's no secret that Kanye West has been interested in both fashion and music, and in recent times has been able to make the step from musician to fashion designer by releasing his own fashion line very recently. This is usually a separate venture from his music, however he still likes to make fashion statements whilst on stage, such as the wares he presented us at the Coachella Festival. Back in the 60s and 70s, Keith Richards of the Rolling Stones had a style that was considered very cool for the time. Usually with loud, colourful and buttoned shirts, scarves and jewellery. This brings me to an example of when such fashion still influences today. Harry Styles from One Direction is heavily influenced by both Keith and Mick Jagger's fashion sense. Fashion can go to another level though when it's designed especially for on-stage performance. The musician can dress how they see fit to emphasise their on-stage presence. I've put together a personal collection of music legends who I feel brought music and fashion together just in the right balance. Starting first with the Queen frontman Freddie Mercury, the flamboyant rock star wasn't shy to wear extravagant clothing on stage. From the yellow jacket to the robe and crown combination, Queen as a band wanted many of their live shows to be very theatrical and did this with their choice of costumes. It only added to the great music. Next is Mick Jagger, lead singer of the Rolling Stones. Known for his rock and roll lifestyle, Mick wasn't afraid to make daring fashion choices whilst on stage, a standout example being his Ozzy Clark designed sequin jumpsuits worn in the early 70s. And finally, you can't talk about fashion and music without talking about this next guy. He not only used fashion to show off on stage, he also used it to show off a load of personas. I'm talking about the legend that is Mr. David Bowie. He was always changing his style and music. Ziggy Stardust, an alien rock star from outer space. It was a style that had loud costumes, provocative costumes, which shocked and confused people who saw him at the time, how Bowie intended. And then there was the Thin White Duke, which was dramatically different, more stylish and sharp in their style and fashion. If you're looking for someone who was dramatically changing their music and fashion all at the same time, look no further than David Bowie. So what have we learnt on this quick tour? Is that fashion and music can go hand in hand. You can like music and you can just like fashion. However, when a musician can combine both in spectacular style, well then you have a real musician on your hands.